What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eclectic Beard Gaming and Reactions. Yes, yet again, like I said, I don't know that I'm ever going to take and get the green screen again. It's not a whole lot of room back here, so it might just be my big ugly mug, and then here, the screen. Yeah, there you go. Which, let's see if we can't shed a little bit of light on the situation. Make this just a wee bit bigger without taking me out of frame. Let's see. That'll have to work. That'll have to work. So, this is the Secret City of London History Edition. Now, this was actually sent to me via email. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. And, yeah, Secret City of London History Edition. Stuff like this just fascinates me because secret histories are basically right there, kind of in plain view a lot of times, but the history behind them and how things happened, they're forgotten or it's not known by a lot of folks. So I love stuff like this. Let's go ahead and get into it.
The great city of London, known for its historical landmarks, modern skyscrapers, ancient markets, and famous bridges. It's arguably the financial capital of the world and home to over 11,000 people. Wait, what? 11,000? That's right, but the City of London is a different place from London. Though London is also known for its historical landmarks, modern skyscrapers, ancient markets, famous bridges, and is home to the government royal family and 7 million people. But if you look at a map of London crafted by a careful cartographer, that map will have a 1 square mile hole near the middle. It's here where the City of London lives inside the city named London. Despite these confusingly...
Wait, what? So it's a city within a city.
close names, the two Londons have separate city halls and elect separate mayors who collect separate taxes to fund separate police who enforce separate laws. The mayor of the City of London has a fancy title, the Right Honourable the Lord Mayor of London, to match his fancy outfit. He also gets to ride in
the Right Honourable Lord Mayor of London. Like, that's a hell of a title. It's like they've seen how many words they could pack onto it. It's interesting that you've got this large metropolis, and then in the midst of this large metropolis, you've got the actual, you got one little spot, and it's its own entity within a larger entity. That kind of,
in a golden carriage and work in a guild hall, while the Mayor of London has to wear a suit, ride a bike, and work in an office building. The City of London also has its own flag and its own crest, which is awesome and makes London's lack of either twice as sad. To top it off, the City of London gets to act more like one of the countries in the UK than just an oddly located city, for, uniquely, the corporation that runs the City of London is older than the United Kingdom by several hundred years. So how did the UK end up with two Londons, one inside of the other? Because Romans. 2,000 years ago, they came to Great Britain, killed a bunch of druids, and founded a trading post on the River Thames and named it Londinium. Being Romans, they got to work doing what Romans do, enforcing laws, increasing trade, building temples, public baths, roads, bridges, and a wall to defend their work. And it's this wall which is why the current city of London exists. For though the Romans came and the Romans went, and kingdoms rose and kingdoms fell, the wall endured protecting the city within. And the city, governing itself and trading with the world, grew rich. 1,000 years after the Romans, yet still 1,000 years ago, when William the Conqueror came to Great Britain to conquer everything and begin modern British history, he found the City of London with its sturdy walls more challenging to defeat than farmers on open fields. So he agreed to recognize the rights and privileges City of Londoners were used to in return for them recognizing him as the new king. Though after the negotiation, William quickly built towers around the City of London, which were...
I don't know why, but that whole scene right there where it's talking about William the Conqueror coming in and he recognized their rights as long as they recognize him as king. All I could, for whatever reason, Monty Python, king, I didn't vote for you. I fought in your general direction. Love that movie. So I don't know, yeah. Anyways, it's interesting that a city that was set up so long ago was able to keep, and not so much I guess you would say a level of autonomy just by the way that this is talking about. Because for somebody to come in and be like, didn't expect it to take this long. Hey, you keep your rights. Just call me king. And they'd be like, all right, cool. You know, it's stuff like that. It's interesting how history and affect ancient history affects modern day things sometimes. It's really wild.
Were just as much about protecting William from the locals within as defending against the Vikings from without. This started a 1,000-year-long tradition whereby monarchs always reconfirmed that yes, the city of London is a special, unique place that's best left to its own business, while simultaneously distrusting it. Many a monarch thought the city of London was too powerful and rich, and one even built a new capital city nearby, named Westminster, to compete with the city of London and hopefully suck power and wealth away from it. This was the start of the Second London. As the centuries passed, Westminster grew and merged with nearby towns, eventually surrounding the walled-in and still separate city of London. But people began to call the whole urban collection London, and the name became official when Parliament joined the towns together under a single municipal government with a mayor. But the mayor of London still doesn't have power over the tiny city of London, which has rules and traditions like nowhere else in the country and possibly the world. For example, the ruling monarch doesn't just enter the city of London on a whim, but instead asks for permission from the Lord Mayor at a ceremony. While it's not required,
This is like wild, yo. Like, holy crap! Even after all the stuff, no, that's it, no, that they're their own thing, yo. Like, even the monarchs having to take and ask for permission. Hey, can I come? Can I come in? Can I come see? No, no, we don't want you here. Not today. Come back tomorrow. We'll see how I think. That's interesting as all get out. Like, you wouldn't think something like that would continue for that long.
by law, the ceremony is unusual to say the least. The City of London also has a representative in Parliament, the Remembrancer, whose job it is to protect the city's special rights. Because of this, laws passed by Parliament sometimes don't apply to the City of London, most notably voting reform laws, which we'll discuss next time. But if you're curious for a preview, unlike anywhere else in the UK, elections in the City of London involve medieval guilds and modern companies. Finally, the City of London also owns and operates land and
Wait. Hold on. Medieval guilds? What? Is fat like? See, that's one of those things. Like, this is one of the reasons why there are so much of what happens in England, what happens just what happens in England, what I'm learning about Scotland, and I'm gonna take and dig into more stuff as far as Scotland is concerned with traditions and history. Same thing with Wales and you know Northern Ireland. I'm gonna dig into more. But the whole area as a whole, the rich history, how it's so different because of in some places because of how things went in ancient history. Like, it's absolutely just because this isn't stuff that you would normally. I could see a city here going, no, 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 we don't recognize you, or we'll recognize you, but we'll take and do what we damn well please. We had a couple of states, one of them being the one I'm in, try that one time. Of course, the reasons were nefarious for the reasons why it was, yeah, it was. They wanted to keep slavery alive and going, and it didn't work out so well, thank God. But you couldn't have a city like that here in the U.S. Like, even like Washington D.C. It's in the state of Maryland, but it's separate from the state of Maryland. It's its own entity. They could be like, nah, we're not gonna take and follow your laws here. That we're gonna apply this one, but we're not gonna apply that one. And it'd be like, oh, it would be, oh, there'd be some hell to pay. So the fact that there's places like this in England, so even so close, like Parliament and the monarchy and stuff like that, it's my goodness.
medieval guilds, and modern companies. Finally, the City of London also owns and operates land and buildings far outside its border, making it quite wealthy. Once you start looking for the city's crest, you'll find it in lots of unexpected places, most notably on Tower Bridge, which, while being in London, is operated by the City of London. These crests everywhere, when combined with the City of London's age and wealth and quasi-independent status, make it an irresistible temptation for conspiracy nuts. Add in the oldest Masonic temple, and it's not long before the crazy part of the internet starts yelling about
Oh, the Illuminati, they done took it over. The Masons are there. They're Illuminati. They come from France and well, first Germany, then to France, and from France they branched out in England, and I know all about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Secret societies controlling the world via the finance industry from inside the city-state of London. And don't forget the reptilian alien queen who's really behind it all. But conspiracy theories aside, the City of London is not an independent nation like the Vatican is, no matter how much you might read it on the internet. Rather, it's a unique place in the United Kingdom with a long and very complicated history. The wall that began all this 2,000 years ago is now mostly gone, so the border between London and its secret inner city isn't so obvious. Though, next time you're in London, if you come across a small dragon on the street, he still guards the entrance to the city, in a country in a country.
This is just absolutely fascinating. There we have it. The secret city of London. It's fascinating because London, you think of this big metropolis, but the city of London itself is a small actual, and it dates back to Roman times, Londinium. That's not something that unless you probably are from there, or unless you watch a video like this or just research it, you're not going to know. That's just fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Yeah, peace.